All right, Geektastic Duo here. Gilly Del Trez, self-published professional, alongside
Geek hero Ronald Christian here, creator of the world's greatest and truest superhero, Paragon Prime, coming to Indiegogo hopefully this summer.
And we have a really awesome guest because he has a really awesome book. Rob Muerto, take it away.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. It's an honor to be here. I'm a big fan of your book. I'm not aware of Hero Geeks, but
I haven't launched it yet. So
you haven't launched it yet. I'm sure it's going to be great. But Gilly's looks amazing. It's
thank you.
And it has by far the catchiest theme song.
Hey, we're trying, man. We're trying to make it.
That's what made me back it. Like I saw that theme song, like, oh, I need to back this like right now. So,
dude, that's absolutely legit. My wife has nothing to do with comic books, but she knows that I'm sort of doing the crowdfunding thing, and I showed her this. What do you think of this trailer? And then we started singing it in the car.
Yeah,
Galactic Rodents.
Yeah, that's a good time, man. If a wife that's not into comics is on board, it's catchy enough. That's pretty cool.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Awesome. So, I did want to talk about Tales from the Classroom because I think it looks really, really awesome.
Thank you.
It reminds me a lot of cartoons that I used to watch in the 80s and the 90s. I listed a couple of them out on Twitter. It has that feel to it. It's really, really awesome.
I'm glad you like it. I saw your post on Twitter, and it was informative to me. It seems like you have sort of an encyclopedic knowledge of 80s cartoons.
Yeah. Was that an influence at all? Any of those things at all?
I didn't know most of those things except for those. All right, I knew Filmation Ghostbusters. Obviously, that I used to love that. And the OG, what do they call it? The original Ghostbusters, which is what do they call the other one? The real one, the real Ghostbusters.
The one based on the movie, right?
On the movie, they called the real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that. And Gravedale High, I only just found out about recently.
Oh,
and it's a shame I didn't know of it, but
I don't even know Gravedale High. Don't feel too bad. I mean,
I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't because when I came up with the concept for this book, in my mind it was original, and if I had have known of Gravedale High, I would have known that it's really not. It's been done multiple times. I came up with the idea for this book shortly after Twilight, like 10 years ago, and it was supposed to be published around then, with this now defunct indie comic book publisher called Viper Comics. They were like a small.
I heard of Viper.
I mean, they did a few things, but they were never huge. But it was between them. I got in touch with two publishers. One of them was Archaia, which is much bigger and is now part of Boom Studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the other one was Viper, and I sort of pitched them because this is based on a screenplay that I'd written.
Okay.
And I pitched them the screenplay adaptation of the comic book, and they were both interested. They were all in. Mm-hmm. But then the terms that Viper offered were much more beneficial to me in terms of merchandising and stuff like this, and so I went with Viper.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have, because the comic book probably would have gotten made with the other one all that time ago.
Yeah. Well, here's a positive. A positive is it seems like your book got funded, right? So it's going to be done, right? Yep. People are going to get the book. And as far as pitching, there's a plethora of still strong indie comic books. Publishers like Alterna is one. I know Scout Comics is another one that looks pretty solid as far as their page and their lineup.
Yeah. And Antarctic Press too.
Yeah, and Arctic Press, this shouldn't have a problem if it's pro looking already. And I read through the dialogue. I read through the little introduction of the Rob Muerto character you got going on here. There's a lot of charm with this book going on. It's very marketable, especially when you think about, like you said, we've seen these tropes done already. but there's still something about high school. And when you throw monsters together, I mean, there's ways to make that fun, and there are ways to still bring out something fresh. And
I think so, man. There's something you said it best. There's something about high school, and that's and part of the reason why this whole project came about was that I was so befuddled by Twilight's success. I was sitting around like, how the hell is this like a phenomenon? What's the deal with this?
You got a romance angle. That's like it has that. Here's about Twilight, okay? Because I went to Twilight back when it came out, and it was some chick wanted to see it. I'm like, okay, yeah, great. It looked like a horror for me. I thought it was a horror movie, but it was a chick flick disguised as like this vampire horror thing, and I was so disappointed. I wanted to kind of enjoy it, but it didn't do it for me. But what you said is right. The success.
Yeah, the success is sort of like was really perplexing for me, and even this is being not mean, but not mean because it's become such a cultural behemoth, but Harry Potter always sort of like went over my head. Like, why is this such a big deal? And that's also high school movie basically.
Yeah.
I think it's the notion that high school is the most relatable environment out of all of them, because if there's one experience and environment and setting that we've all gone through, everybody practically, it's high school, and you sort of impinge a fantasy element into that very relatable environment, and I think it's a good mix, and that's part of the reason why Twilight became such a phenomenon.
Also, Harry Potter, when you think about it, I mean, you have the element of just, like I said, not high school, but we get to see the characters young, growing into their high school bodies. And when you go to high school, there's a lot of pressure that comes with high school. You want to fit in, then you got, if you can't fit in, there's little factions going on. Like it's a little microcosm of society within society. It's crazy. And I think there's a relatability there. And when you have something that's fun and bring horror, again, even I was reading your little intro. I'm gonna scroll down just to show the true artwork here.
We got
the the artwork, the coloring is really good. Again, this is top. I'm just gonna say this is a top quality indie comic out there, and I love Romero High.
Yeah, George Romero. That's awesome.
I love the little nods.
I like the name Cthulhu High. I think that was a really cool kind of H.P. Lovecraft kind of Easter egg there. Which I mean, Gilly knows a lot about that because he's.
Are you a big Lovecraft head?
I'm not as super big, but I'm tapping into it, and I'm creating like a little comic book franchise that I'm doing with a buddy of mine. Yeah. And there's so much to love with Lovecraft. So a few of the stories I read, I was just gripped. I've never been gripped in that way. And now that he became public domain, it's just like, I want to tap into this. And even look at this pinup, and we got the little Cthulhu Lovecraftian influence with the. Is it the principal? Is the statue?
That's the founder of the school and the former headmaster.
I love it. The former headmaster. So I want to I have a feeling he'll come back. I don't know. But look.
That's. I mean, there's a little inscription underneath the statue that says a prophecy written in Ryla or whatever the Lovecraftian language is that he'll come back.
That's very cool.
Students sort of creep each other out by telling like these tales of this guy coming back to like exact some kind of academic reprimand on them.
Some memorandum or
I want to ask a few questions about the world that this takes place in.
Yeah.
Now, is this like an alternate dimension or?
Yeah. It's like an alternate world where the premise is that only monsters exist.
Okay.
And humans are. We exist, but only as figments of their imaginations.
Okay.
Like it's like a reverse thing that's going on. They tell scary stories about us. And,
okay.
I like that. Now with the humans, are they featured somewhat in this book? They're hinted upon, or like parallel dimension? Like, do humans exist at all, or this is just Monster World?
It's just Monster World,
this is cool.
And you see Rob like sort of doodling a human the way we would do like a monster. You know.
Okay, cool.
That's brilliant. So for anyone to just say, "Hey, we've seen the high school stuff before. Here's a twist right here that we haven't seen." It's a world where humans don't exist. But like the idea of them through literature or maybe through just rumors or folklore or whatever, like is out there, right? The idea
yeah.
They don't exist. So I think that's a genius move. Like
now obviously you have vampires, you have wolfmen, you have zombies. Do you take from all mythologies when it comes to getting monsters like succubuses or
I like to incorporate everything in this first issue. And in this high school specifically, Cthulhu High, it's more spooky Halloween based monsters that you're going to deal with. But there's some other ones that have a little bit of a different feel, like they incorporate more like mythology based monsters,
like Medusa, like
stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Very cool. All right, real quick. I'm loving this pinup right here. I kind of, if you can, just give us a little intro. We'll start with the gorilla, and then maybe we go clockwise till we come around to the character with the peace sign. Like introduce like these characters. Like give us a little snippet who they are and what they're about.
Well, that's the current principal. That's Principal Kong.
Okay.
Principal Kong, awesome.
And he's. What can I say about him? He's one of those strict authoritarians. I had little character bios that I had included in the campaign page, but actually John Malin, Coach Malin, who's the king of
he said lose it.
Yeah, he said lose it. It's a little bit too much. I've already lost interest by the time most people lose interest by the time
he gives good
they
advice.
get to the bios. So
here we got the authoritarian principle. Now who's this with was this like a scepter he got?
It's not a scepter. It's like more like a ghetto fabulous cane.
It's a pimp cane.
The cane. It looks like it's.
I love it.
It looks like it's a pimp cane, but it's actually a walking aid because Gilman. I shouldn't call him Gilman, but that's what he is. He's like a creature from the Black Lagoon type.
I love it. I was just gonna say that. Awesome.
Their eyes are photosensitive, so they can't see. They're very sensitive to light, and he needs it to.
You already add tons of character already within the character.
Yeah.
Who's this guy with the white hair, silver hair?
That's Drake. That's the antagonist. The main antagonist is sort of the main
bully.
He's the main bully. He's the guy that makes Rob Muerto's life miserable, the zombie's life miserable, and he's the most popular kid in school. He's He's got everything. He's very wealthy. He's good looking.
He looks like he doesn't even want to be in the pinup. That's like I love it.
Exactly.
That's a character there. That's
that cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So he's a vampire, right? I see like the tooth coming out.
He's a vampire. Yeah.
Awesome. And who's this chick that's kind of like looking at him like?
That's another breed of vampire. So Drake is a
I love that.
Nosferatu.
I love that.
And she's a Strigoi. I know the Nosferatus are typically in vampire lore. They're super ugly, but the way that I did it over here is that the Nosferatu is the rarest, but the OG. Vampire species, the most regal ones, the most powerful ones as well.
That's a good take.
And that's Eliza's the Strigoi. Yeah, she's just a different species.
Cool. I thought she was like some kind of a sea creature, but based on the tentacles and the hair and the head and everything.
No, she's a cool character. I like the fact that she's a vampire, but it's hard to make vampires fun, right, and fresh because again they've been done to death. But when you have a spin on the Nosferatu and they're like, no, these are the most royal or I like that take on it. So it's interesting. Now we have Rob Muerto. He's a zombie, right?
Which we know the most about, honestly. We know a lot about Rob at this point, which is really cool.
Tell me what. Okay, now I'm gonna say we're gonna get down to the little snippet. So he's a zombie, but what's something else about Rob that a reader might find likable or something, or that they want to know what's up with this guy?
I wouldn't know that they would find it likable, but he's very into himself in the beginning of the story.
Awesome.
Okay, so he's gonna grow as a character.
He'll grow as a character, yeah. But he gets a rude awakening as soon as he moves and he transfers over to Cthulhu High, because in Romero High, he was the most popular kid in school. But it was an
all zombie high school.
It was an all zombie high school.
Perfect.
And then his dad gets a promotion from janitor to head janitor, but they have to like move to the big city. And he transfers over to Cthulhu, and he's all like, "Hey, here I am."
He's a little peon.
But then he gets treated like dirt by everybody, and he gets a big blow to his ego upon finding out that not only is he personally no longer top dog, but his entire species, the zombies, are perceived as bottom of the totem pole, socially.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good. That's. I like that twist. That's pretty cool. I'm liking that. I'm feeling that as a character now to see that he was popular, now to see what he gets into, and kind of. I'm now a little more interested. Is this a werewolf character we got in the bottom left here?
It would be if there was humans, so he's just a wolf man.
Good point. Thanks for correcting me. Yeah. What's his name? Well, tell me about him.
So his name is Eddie, and he's sort of like that typical slacker Gen X, pot smoking. He doesn't smoke pot because this is for kids, but he would if it weren't.
Maybe there's something else that he can maybe you could come up with some kind of worm tree. I don't know, worm stump. I don't know. You're the writer. Maybe come up with something that into that. I mean,
yeah. I'll allude to it.
Yeah, but okay, cool.
He reminds me of Shaggy.
And he's like a Shaggy type, and he becomes he's one of those loner types mostly. But he and Rob sort of hit it off, and they become inseparable very quickly.
Okay, cool. So that's his bud then.
That's his bud. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. All right, so who's the last guy? Who's like this clay face kind of guy?
That's Joshua the Golem. And that's a kippah that he's wearing with the Orthodox.
I was wondering about that. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. That's pretty great.
So what's the story behind that? Since there's no humans, is that like kind of he just?
What is he? What's the story behind him? He's like the son of a major Hollywood producer, and he's very eccentric. Like he's one of the cool kids, but. Anywhere else he'd be committed, but because he's got so much money and his dad's like such a big shot, everybody just thinks he's like eccentric and stuff.
Awesome,
he's a very goofball type character, but really funny.
I like
lovable.
It. I like it.
All the kids like him the most.
Okay.
Awesome. So I again, we got a good variety as far as some of the characters we're seeing here. Some of the rewards here, they seem really fair. Tell us your how. Okay, I see it says here 41 pages. Is this like a one? I mean, it seems like too much to be a one shot, right? What's your overall end game or like your vision?
My vision is to have 4 books for this first story.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I'm going to move on to something else. And
so this is book 1 then that we're featuring here?
This is book 1, yeah.
Awesome, book 1. Awesome. So we got triple threat. There's 3 different covers to this 41-page intro, which is pretty good. For any collectors out there, I mean, I'm the kind of dude that I love variant covers because it's, you have the one that you want to read, and you have the 2 that maybe you don't read, or you just kind of I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good, when it's comic books, you can't have enough variant covers for something you really like.
I love it, and listen, and these variant covers, the guys that did this are really talented. One of them was actually done by Marco McCagney of Monster MD fame. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yes, yeah, of course.
And the colors were done on that cover. Were done by this guy named John Rausch, who's like an Image and Dark Horse colorist. He does. He's done Avengers. He's done everything. So he's a big deal.
So top quality stuff, guys. So I'm saying that's great indie quality stuff. That's pro quality we're getting here.
Can we talk about how cool the design for the witch teacher is?
Yeah, we're gonna get to. Oh, you're gonna have to tell me a little bit about that character because that character I just love. I don't know. I love mysterious looking characters, especially when it's kind of horror. You got digital offering, which is cool. $8. 24 people claim that. For people who don't think digital works, man, listen. Let me tell you something. If you're afraid about someone copying your stuff or someone sharing it out, listen, man, that's free publicity. Someone paid it. They shared it to their buddy. Like, eventually, they're gonna want more if they like your story, and eventually, if they like it enough, they're gonna want a physical copy. So I just think digital offerings are really cool. And I see you have 2 versions here, a deluxe edition. So probably I guess it comes with some pinups or something.
Yeah, pinups with like high res pinups. Awesome. A lot of these would do make for really good wallpapers and stuff. And
excellent.
It's cool to throw in there.
And even print it out if you want too. You got digital premium edition, so we got a little extra here with a mystery pinup or something.
And now it's a preview of chapter 2.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. That's only $1 extra. Come on, man. That's like, I mean, if you're that much tight on the budget, again, the $10 is good. Even the $8 is good. But $11, it gets you a little extra and a preview. We got $13 for a 41-page book. It's amazing. And again, these are indie comic guys we're supporting. Yeah. Excellent. And we have the double whammy. So you got the 2 variant covers here.
Yeah, the 2, and then the featured one that we already went.
Awesome. Yeah, so again, not so many rewards. It keeps it nice and simple because this is a startup, right? Yeah. I mean, there's some things you learn. I mean, you had, hey, bookmark this, hey, shirt this, shirt that. But it's like when you're starting up, it's kind of like, sometimes it's good to keep it very simple.
Yeah, you can go all out in volume 2,
Yeah, when you get, like even then, I'm just saying, like, even if you don't go all out, like let's say you finish your book and you get to book 4, and then you have let's say the omnibus of like the book where it's all together, like the big hardcover or the big trade paperback. There, you could probably introduce more merch type stuff. But I'm just saying, like,
I have little things like with the triple threat, you get a personalized thank you card from Rob Muerto, and you have previews of characters and stuff. There's some sweet things in there as well. I mean, I didn't go all out on bookmarks and stuff like that, but if I'd reached some of those stretch goals, I would have.
But even then,
this has been sort of the success of this campaign has been a little middling in my opinion. It could have gone better, but I need to get it's my first campaign, so I need to get my feet wet first, and then
you funded. Okay, you funded. Okay, I do a bunch of campaigns. I had campaigns that I had to cancel because they weren't going to fund. Yeah. You funded your first campaign. That's amazing, and
that's already a huge success. Yeah, that's already.
Have you put this on Kickstarter?
No.
Are you planning to?
Not really. No, I've heard a lot of bad things about Kickstarter. So
just think about your brand, all right? Because I've actually launched on both.
Have you really?
Yeah,
I hear. Yeah, I hear that it's good. Like it might make sense from a financial perspective. No?
My thing is, you only made $2,000. You're saying you're not too happy, but you got to be positive because you funded, right? So that's a beautiful thing. But if you think about exposure, right, you think about your brand, right? I'm not talking about politics or nothing. I'm talking about your brand, right? We're talking about getting Rob Muerto out to everybody, right? There's a lot of crap on Kickstarter that I see, and I'm like, I can't believe this thing is getting crowdfunded, And I understand that, some people don't like Kickstarter, and that's great. But there's people that probably use Kickstarter that have no idea of Indiegogo and who probably use Kickstarter as their go-to source for indie comics. And I'm sure I'm guaranteed that, if you put like a small goal, because the thing with Kickstarter, if you don't make your goal, you don't get the money. So let's just say you funded here, and let's say you want to do a bigger print run for a convention, because that's what I did. I did Lair on Kickstarter. And I wanted to do conventions. I said, man, I can't afford a bigger print run already. All I had was enough for that. So I put it on Indiegogo, and it did really good. On Pistolera, I did that on Kickstarter. It funded, and then I brought it to Indiegogo. Like, I jumped back and forth because, again, I want to grow my brand, and I want everyone to get this book that might not know of the outside noise, but just like, I like shopping at Walmart. I like shopping at Target. I like I like backing books on Indiegogo. Billy Tucci is one who's done both. I backed his project on Kickstarter, and then it came to Indiegogo. Okay, cool. I backed his She book on Indiegogo. I mean, I want the book. I don't go for the outside noise, right? Brian Polito is another one who did Lady Death. He did Lady Death on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's right.
He brought it to Indiegogo. I'm just saying, it's for if you want to get the book out there.
I'll look into that. Thanks for the advice, man.
Yeah, because you have everything set up here. You got a finished book. You have everything done. You have your 2,000 that you're using towards printing and everything. So if you launch it, with a small amount, and push that more on Facebook, because Facebook's tends to lean more to Kickstarter for whatever reason, and you just want to get it out there. Get on as much streams as you can. I know crowdfunding comics with Billy Tucci is really good. And like I said, they put their stuff on both platforms, so why not? So this is a great book. I mean, this is something that there's one book on Kickstarter. I'm just going to pull it up just so you can just see the comparison. And it's something, I don't know, put it like this, people that like that book, I could see them.
I mean, I think this book appeals to the same kind of people that would back like Monster MD, for example,
Yeah.
This skews a little younger.
No, I understand that. No, I totally get that. And that's part of the appeal to me, but it's the same kind of feel, just more. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do a quick share real quick, just to get a snippet.
No, I love Monster MD and
great book, by the way, excellent book.
It's a fantastic book, and what's his name?
This one's here, Miss Katana Kai. What I mean, I don't know, at the time, I heard something. Yeah, I've heard of it too. I have, and I remember seeing it here and there, and it was like, okay, and look at this. I mean, it's. But here we go. Already 500 something backers, and we got issue 5, right? This is issue 5. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just another way to get your brand out there. You could put it for a short campaign stretch and just test the waters. You can lose nothing by trying. The only thing you gain is getting more money to promote your book, to get more copies of your book, and to increase your brand. So why would you not put it on a platform where other people that just don't even use Indiegogo, would never find out about this awesome book, Tales from the Classroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I'll definitely look into it. But so you would suggest just like closing out this campaign, obviously, and then opening another one.
If you have
bilaterally or in conjunction with this, because this one's closing out. I want to fulfill in March. Yeah. And I mean.
Well, I do have a Indiegogo campaign called The Deep Dark. It did pretty decent. I set it for $2,000, and my buddy JL said, "Hey, let's get it done." We always talked about it, and we did it. We made 4,000 something. But again, it's just like it's small, where you can only print X amount of copies. If I want to go to New York Comic Con, if I want to go to my local Comic Cons here and have a decent amount of books to sell. If I print 150 books, 200 books, that's enough for my backers, and I leave me with 50 copies to sell at a convention, which there's not much. So if I want to get a little bit more money, boom. So I'm going to be launching The Deep Dark on Kickstarter. The way I'm doing it is, basically once the comic's done, it's pretty much close to being done, and sending the print. Like when you get to that point where you're going to send it to the printer,
right?
Is where you fit the window of. That's one way to do it. Unless you don't mind closing out this one as its own entity and then just relaunching again, or if you want to lump it together, it's possible. And like I said, I've done it twice. And there's other pros. I just said, Billy Tucci.
Of course, man. Yeah.
He's amazing. Over $100,000 he made on Kickstarter. He brought his Lady Death to Indiegogo, and it made a good amount. So. Again,
but let's see if it goes by there because I guess they have like a committee of a wrong think committee.
That's what happened with the what's his name? The guy doing Lone Star, right? He tried to launch on
Mike Miller. He tried he's been published by DC, right? He tapped into Indiegogo. We did really well for whatever reason he wanted to launch on Kickstarter. They said, because of whatever reason. Does that mean every book is going to happen? Like I said, I'm getting my Kickstarter ready to launch for The Deep Dark. I was worried about that because I'm like, I already funded the Deep Dark. I don't want people to think I'm going as like a cash grab to launch again. But the way I worded it on my campaign, I'm like, listen, we're an entrepreneur, we're growing our brand, and we want to get our book to everybody. We understand that there's some people that are exclusive to one platform. I want to tap into that. Right. I want to tap into the people that are only going to shop at Kickstarter. I want to show you that, hey, there's comics here that you're not going to get.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, the best bet for launching the first time is Indiegogo. I think it's safer with Indiegogo to launch first, and then if you're successful on Indiegogo, then think about Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did great because he launched first here and it did well. I launched first on Kickstarter because back in the day when I launched Under the Flesh, that was a couple years ago. I don't know, like 6-7 years ago. I was green, man. I was green, and I raised the money. But there was only Kickstarter. I don't even think Indiegogo was a thing then. And if it was, no one was even using it for comics. Like the place you did comic was Kickstarter. That's all changing now because of how things go. You can say wrong thinking. I agree with you there. How they're pushing a lot of agenda stuff, heavy stuff, and that's another reason why I want to get my book out there, because I want to see what's the best way to battle a place that's just showing this agenda type stuff is to put your stuff on that same platform for people to just see that, okay, there's other still good stuff on there. Because again, some people don't know Indiegogo exists. And then me in promoting some of my
but what if the people in charge at Kickstarter,
I don't care about people in charge of Kickstarter. If they want to take the book off for whatever reason, I can use that to my advantage. I can be, hey, listen, I crowdfunded this, crowdfunded that, and I can make it public. Like, listen, they're discriminating against me if you want to play that game. I can go. Am I going to not launch because I'm afraid they might do something? No, because it's in the best interest for me. I want that's in the best interest for me, right? So, like I said, I had the same issue, and I was crossing my fingers when I put the Deep Dark, and they approved it. I didn't launch it yet, but it's approved. So it's like, okay, great. So I'm able to put it out there. What I'm trying to get at is there's some backers again, if you want to say groupthink or whatever, there's backers that when they found out I had Galactic Runners and Mayhem on Indiegogo, they're like, oh, why like no one wanted to back, they were like, I don't trust Indiegogo. I'm like, dude, right now it's on Indiegogo. I don't know if I'm gonna bring it to Kickstarter, but right, if you want to get it, back it. And some people don't like Indiegogo because I felt like maybe they put their card in one, they feel more secure with Kickstarter for whatever reason. So what I'm trying to say, the customer might have their reasons for not wanting to use Indiegogo. Do you want to keep your book away from them?
No, of course not.
Listen, hey, book on Kickstarter, I'd back it. It's just not. I've had people tell me that, like, your book. They're like, let me know when your book comes to Kickstarter. So imagine how many people that might have that same mindset that don't want to touch Indiegogo. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
I totally get it. I mean, but for my money, I trust Indiegogo more than I trust Kickstarter.
I think we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, that's good. What I'm trying to say is,
but I'm with you, Gillian.
I want my book everywhere.
I'm with you, Gillian, in the sense that you need it's about exposure. You need as much exposure as you can.
That's the only reason.
And I'm very green at this thing, and it's amazing how much like a book's success relies on your ability to market the book and market yourself. And it's a lot of pushing.
If you think you're green, I'm even greener. I haven't even launched yet. So
I'm a veteran next to you.
No, you're good. And the thing with Rob is that you already have your test marker. You have your gauge right now because you successfully funded this. You got how many backers you got for a first campaign? You got 135 backers. That's excellent. That's kind of like the average for a first campaign if it succeeds. When I did Under the Flesh years ago, I got like 150 backers. Mm-hmm. This is a great gauge because, again, I don't know how hard you heavily promoted this, but again, it's pro quality work. And you're putting it on Indiegogo, and you work the network, and it got enough to get funded, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you kind of just, again, as a gauge, as a marker, you just put this on Kickstarter, just keep the same, the same setup, just put it on there, cut and paste, and just say, you mentioned, looking for exposure in my brand, and with the money I get here, I'm using it for a bigger print fund. Because with Kickstarter, you got to explain what your money is for, right? So I'm saying, hey, even though I crowdfunded already on Indiegogo, Tales from the Classroom, I want to have a big print one because it's all about Rob Muerto and expanding his story.
What do you mean you need to explain? You need to like sort of give your intentions to like the board, and then they'll.
It's the page. I like like if I just because if you're unsure, if I just show you like the Kickstarter preview page, we could always do this off air. I could show you a link to my preview.
Yeah, it's different. It's different than
I just like how you put here in your overview, you put a little something like I just added like a little separate little space, and I'm
like a little blurb where you should tell.
And I'm like, this is what I'm like. Listen, we were successful to get the Deep Dark
funded.
Indiegogo, but guess what? We want to make it available for everyone, and there's some people on Kickstarter who might not know of it. We want to bring it to you, and in doing so, we're going to raise more funds for us to print more copies of the book, which is great for our exposure and selling at conventions. You're going to help us get there. So you explain that we need the backers, and it's not just a cash grab. And they understand that, So what I'm saying is for you, because you already got 135 backer, which is great even for a first campaign and for starting. If you just, like I said, you kind of put this on Kickstarter when you feel comfortable or however you want to kind of promote a little bit, just to see how much you get on Kickstarter. Because again, you're still new and you haven't promoted heavily, or you're still just, you know what I'm saying? You're just on that's a great test to see where for a new person, can do well. And you did exceptionally well on Indiegogo, because there's people that I've seen launching first campaigns on Indiegogo that haven't funded. You got a great book, and you have the cachet behind it that it was wanted. A publisher wanted it.
You have a great book with a solid concept.
Yeah, you got a great thing here, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Yeah, so let's look at the preview real quick, because we got to get into this, man.
Can I ask you something, Gilly? Did you outsource fulfillment, or did you do it yourself?
If you mean outsource, like out of the United States?
No.
Wait, outsource, like if I hired people? I did it, bro. That was another job for me. When I get to the point, like, they got some big heavy hitters like John Malin, Ethan Van Sciver, even Von Claus, where you got these where they got thousands of backers. I might want to check into the outsourcing thing, but again, I would ask around, because I heard someone that did a World Class Bullshitters. They have a YouTube channel. They had a book called Stealing Solo.
I know about that.
And they had real issues delivering the book, and from what I was told, that the people they used to handle that botched a lot of stuff.
Rob, I didn't want to
do it myself. With 130 something backers, I would say take the, go through it's an appreciation when you do that. It makes me feel good, like, man, No,
I do. I wish I could do that. I'm going through a lot of different fulfillment companies now, and trying to land on one, because I can't do it myself, because the print I'm printing in the States, right? And I'm in Portugal. I'm from Portugal.
Oh, cool. You need a fulfillment center.
I need a fulfillment. I need once everything's printed, it goes to the fulfillment center, and then they take it. They do their thing.
One that I heard of that has a fulfillment kind of thing going on.
But that's a printer. They're a printer as well. They have a fulfillment
and fulfill. Yeah, they printer and fulfill. They have some kind of program like that. That I remember seeing. Yeah, check on their website where they print and fulfill. So yeah,
I didn't know they fulfilled as well. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of you're gonna have fun. There's the fun in as far as researching, but again, they'll do a good number, because again, you're out. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for shipping international. Oh my god, that's rough, dude. Definitely.
I did want to ask you about a lot of your creative team, because a lot of your creative team is from Argentina, right?
It's just it's the most bizarre thing. I always say they must have something in the water there, because
it's ironic, because my artist is from Argentina.
Yeah, it's weird. It's all these really great talented comic book people keep popping up for me.
My artist Facundo Moyano is from Argentina too.
But it's totally by chance, So the penciler Sebastian Brunico, I hooked up with him when actually the publisher, we went through a few different artists, and I landed on this one. But they're the ones that put me in touch with him. And then once the book fell apart because of the whole publisher thing, years went by, and I had to track him down to see if he was interested in retaking the mantle of this project. Because what you see in this book, what you're going to see, all these pages that you're going to see, they were already penciled, from way back then. There's some like giveaways, like you see a cell phone that Drake has in his hand, and it's like one of those brick type Nokias from back in the day.
Stop playing, really? That's good.
Yeah. And they think it's some kind of like a retro statement that I'm trying to make. No, it's actually from 10 years ago.
That's crazy. Well, you know what? I want to say that this shows you as a creator, as a writer, as an artist, whatever. Like when you have a dream or you have something that you really want to push, the hard work makes it happen. This thing has been Rob saying 10 years ago, some of these pages were finished, but for whatever reason, things fell through, but he's here to get, this finished product in your hands. And there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in here from 10 years ago. There's a history here. You get in someone's, hard work, creation of hard work. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I went through a nightmare of finding the right artist. I mean, it took me about 2 years to go through lousy artists before I found Facundo, because I mean, it was a real nightmare, like finding the right artist for me. It was I almost gave up because I couldn't find the right artist.
And where did you find him?
ArtStation, actually. I found Facundo on ArtStation. Because before that, I had tried DeviantArt, and I had really bad luck with DeviantArt because either an artist was super flaky or they didn't take criticism well, or they just ripped me off. I've had all three happen to me. And then I found out about ArtStation. I was like, I wonder what this... And then, sure enough, I found Facundo, and he's super professional, super awesome, great artist, take criticism well, always gets back to me on time. And yeah, so he's from Argentina too. So I think there is something over there about artists from Argentina because
South America too, because I found my Sebastian, and he's from Uruguay, and that dude's a powerhouse when it comes to art.
Oh yeah, he's amazing, man.
So there's a lot of good talent for anyone looking for artists. Definitely check South America. They got a lot of great talent out there. You'll be surprised.
I think they have a large talent pool, but the industry is not as big over there. But they have a lot of really, really talented people.
It's not as big. So they'll get a lot of small jobs here and there. So crowdfunding stuff like this, there's been a big boom. So there's been a lot that's been getting steady work, and appreciative of guys like Rob Muerto and for getting them in on gigs that might have some legs.
Yeah. I mean, he's incredible, and he's gone above and beyond for me. I mean, his stuff he's blown me away with what he's done for me. So.
Yeah, and speaking of blown away, look at this awesome preview page we have, and again, this is great quality work here. You get the introduction to
great. Yeah, it's all really good.
Which page are we looking here? This one. This is like page 3, 4, 1.
No, this is. I would say this is page. I think it's page 12 or something.
All right, good little cut through point here.
So what happens is that it's his first night in school, right? But and typically has like a little brain shake in the morning. But it's missing from his fridge when he goes down, and he's already late, and he has to all right, I don't want to be late for school, and he goes in. But the thing is, when zombies don't eat brains for a long time, after a while, they enter the sort of catatonic state, which is the one that you're seeing, where all they can do is go around drooling and saying brains and stuff. So
that means he's been suffering. He hasn't had brains in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
For him to get to this point.
But then his buddy that he'd met on the way to school, actually, this is his first introduction to a lot of these characters. But he'd met Eddie on the way to school, and Eddie sort of figures out what's going on and takes him to the cafeteria. Nice. To get a little brains pick me up and restore him back to lucidity.
Yeah. So I like the fact that you kind of play on a little zombie culture here, right? Like if you don't have brains, you become that stereotypical
yeah.
Now, do they get to the point where there's a rabid state where they're the runner type zombies, or they just kind of craving it? He might do something that he doesn't.
I don't want to give too much away. That's like stuff from issue 2 and 3. So.
I love that. You see what I'm saying? So we got some good stuff here. I love that. That's awesome. For zombie heads, you're gonna love this already because the main character is a zombie. I'm a zombie head, so I'm definitely gonna back this book. There's still time. Is it in demand?
It's in demand. Yeah, it's in
Okay,
demand.
good. So I'll definitely be sure to back a copy of this book. Because I know I'm gonna like it, man, and I'll do a little quick flip review. We'll talk about it.
Thanks, man.
It'll be cool.
The Witch is great.
Yeah, this is amazing.
The Witch, the design is really cool, and I was like, wow, man. And so because I have to give total credit to Sebastian, because I was, as you know, this only monsters exist in this world, so I don't want anything to look too human. And witches are typically like very
humanoid,
humanoid. So I wanted to go is for him to go more like you know the movie Legend,
yeah,
with where the hag shows up and she's like super creepy, and I wanted him to go that route, but he just decided to come up with this. And I was like, wow, that's like 10 times better.
Yeah, well, that's a beauty of an artist, right? When you can kind of say, hey, go this way in your script. Like when I write scripts, I don't go too crazy on detail, like was it Alan Moore or something like that? I leave leeway for, creative expression for the artist. So in your thing, you're like, hey, listen, you're giving him the Legend reference, go with the hag. I don't want him too much like a human. He understands not like a human. I got this witch, and he's the machinations in his mind is already coming together, and then he comes out with this 20 times better, like you said, what you thought of. That's a good relationship you have with your artist.
Yeah. Now, are there mummy creatures or like Frankenstein's monsters creatures in the world, or no?
There certainly is. There's Frankenstein's monster. He's the PE coach. His name is Coach Frank. Coach Frank.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And he's a PE coach. I love it.
Yeah, and he's got these like huge. Actually, about that, it's really funny. We're trying to settle on the look for him. If you go down, there's a pinup of him that you can see way down.
I like the lunch lady. She's funny.
Down. Actually, if you go up, there he is.
Down.
Here.
Yeah.
I like the mustache. I love the mustache. That's good.
Yeah, but we've refined his look. That's not going to be the finalized look.
Okay, cool though.
And those boots, I wasn't happy with. I mean, they're all right, but I wanted them to be like this super crazy, like almost like steampunk, full of interlocking pipes and circuitry and like steam coming out.
Sort of like the Frankenstein's monster from the movie Van Helsing, kind of like that.
I guess I don't know. I just wanted it to be the most encumbersome pair of boots of all time, but like really menacing and really kick-ass. And because I think it's funny to have like a guy on a tracksuit wearing the least comfortable pair of boots of all time.
It's funny that you mentioned the steampunk and like with the Frankenstein. And the reason why I bring it up because I have a project that I'm gonna be working on with a Rod Looper, and he's like, this character I want in there, and it's like Frankenstein but steampunk, and I'm just like, what? Like I'm like, okay, we'll make it happen. And then when you said that, like where you get this juxtaposing this weird type, he's in a tracksuit, but with like all these interlocking pipe work on his boot. I think that's genius. I mean, there's real character here.
But speaking of that, I actually commissioned who Rob Willis is?
Yes, he's an amazing artist. He's Shinobi Sasquatch.
He's an amazing artist. I commissioned him to get the pair of boots to design a pair of boots for Coach Frank.
Nice.
And I can I share it with people or no? Shall I share my screen?
Yeah, do it.
Okay,
definitely. That's cool.
You got Ryan Hack here.
Can you see it?
Let me add it to stream. There we go.
Oh my gosh!
That's crazy.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome, huh?
Those are insane.
All right, I'm just gonna say if you want to do a side story on just the origin of these boots, that's just crazy. You got enough material right here to go nuts with with that. That's awesome.
And the other one you asked, I think, was mummies, and there certainly are mummies. The school bus driver is like a hick type, hey, what's going on? And he's like, He's like a mummy. He's a mummy. Yeah, Cletus.
I think this book has a lot of character, a lot of humor, a lot of marketability. I could see this as an animated series easily.
That's the idea. I mean, wow. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks a lot.
Oh yeah. Ryan had his. He did Brick-and-Brack, right? Yeah. I backed that book. It looks so
amazing. Really? I saw that. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to back it, but it looked great. It looked amazing.
No, I haven't backed that one yet, but I already told him when he gets the trilogy done and the one complete thing, I'm buying it because
for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy each individual one, and then I'm gonna buy the collection at the same time. I might give the individual issues to my nephew, and then keep them.
Oh, he'll have fun with it, dude. This is oh my god, seriously, Rob, you have something here. Really something special here. If you keep it kind of like teeny, is that where you kind of go like kids?
Yeah.
Here's a tip that I'm going to give you. Have you ever heard of scholastic.com?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, try pitching this there. There's comics that you're getting this into schools. Okay.
I remember like Goosebumps was a big deal.
Yeah, but this is a comic book, my dude, and this is awesome art. And if you fit a story like that, it's just win-win. It's just win-win. It's too cool, man. I don't like it. Whoever doesn't take a chance on this, whatever. But Scholastic.com, I don't even know how to figure out how to pitch to them. I need to write more kid stuff. I'm more too dark and more too blood and guts and heart. You got it, because if you can keep it at that PG level,
GROM is the closest kind of kid friendly you have.
Yeah, and even then, bro, I got headshots, I got decapitations. I mean,
this stuff is it's meant to be fun. It's not literate. It's not high literature.
No, I think it's a great.
But I think it's all age. It has appeal to all ages. I think kids are going to love it, and adults will appreciate it as well. They'll enjoy it.
Try to get that into Scholastic, because
I will.
That would be amazing. Yeah, like when you have your 41-page book, I don't know how to even pitch to them. Be like, hey, listen, what can we do? Let's talk, because this is, again, there's always politics and everything. There's always connections, who and there's stuff that should get pushed. Like your book should get pushed, and you probably see stuff in Scholastic that's probably subpar. And you're like, this is getting pushed. It's who that's just the business one. But anyway,
it's a lot about that. It's networking, and it's putting yourself out there and letting the book be known.
Exactly, because there's one thing too that everyone loves, right? It's to profit, right? It's to make money, and I don't see anyone, if there's potential in a book, that would say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna push this because, no. When it's about money, we're all on the same page. So we're in this for the love. Let's get this straight out there. We're in this for the love, but at the same time, we put a lot of time and effort into this, and it would be nice to get a profit out of it. Like you get to if you could get, that's where I see like the dream happening, where you can create something that's enjoyed by everybody and you get the profit out of it.
It's the validation, right? It's the profit is the validation.
The thing I love about this is when you see a book that looks really, really cool, it motivates you even further to get your book out there. It's kind of this community where we just help each other out, even if we don't know we're helping each other out. It's crazy. It's awesome.
I love it. Now, here's the thing. I saw this family photo. I got to ask about it. Is this his parents and his brother?
Yeah.
They got a dog. I love it.
Necro.
I love a cool dog name. This dude, you did a lot of thought into this book. It's look at this. Ed Zeppelin. There's little references. It's a real humanity in here. That's so cool.
That's his best bud, Eddie the Wolfman. You see?
Oh, there he goes. He's passed out. Awesome.
And you remember I told you about the smoking.
Here we go. The paraphernalia. There's something here.
It may or may not be a bong over there.
We'll leave that to the imagination. Awesome. This is good with the dunce cap. I love it.
Brains in class.
And the corner.
He crossed out the knot. That's pretty awesome.
This is really good, man. I love it. There's a lot of good stuff here.
I saw this earlier. This is Principal Kong's office. There's a lot of character in this.
That's Principal Kong's office, and you see some motifs that harken back to the previous guy in charge, King Thulu. So there's like little tentacle appendages as the light fixtures you see.
The good little, I love it.
And also in the columns, not in the columns, but in the little. There's like you can barely see it. It's a symbol of Cthulhu.
Oh, damn it! I can't see it.
No, he's up there. Up. Keep going up. There.
Oh,
to the left.
That's cool. He got Easter eggs in here. I love it. Oh man, this is special, man. Guys, this is special, man. I'm gonna tell you, I mean, I like the fact that we're taking the time to showcase, other books, because there's a lot of great books out there that definitely are worth the attention, are worth the eyeballs, because they're fun, and it's just what I love about comics.
Now, I want to ask you, have you been on a lot of channels and streams? Or is this like one of the first ones you've been on?
I've been on I would say I've been on about seven.
Okay.
And I've been on a couple. The biggest one I've been on is Sweetcast.
Okay, you were on Sweetcast. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was good. It was a nice push in terms of contributions, and but I was hoping to hit the mother load and go to like an Ethan or something like that.
Oh yeah, Ethan.
I'm there too, man. Just focus on your book, and you'll get there. You'll get, just keep on doing you, and you'll get to the point where people will see the quality of your book, and you won't have to hopefully try to almost beg someone to be on their show. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm guessing that you're also going to be doing where you're going to do the individual books. Or you're going to be doing like an omnibus after they're all done.
I would love to do that.
Of course, yeah. That's a no-brainer. Could you imagine the little?
See, we have to make this a success first,
Yeah, of course.
So guys, definitely, if you see the stream, back it, share it. This is definitely a project worth backing. You've been on Sweetcast show, it was an amazing show. A good audience there. Have you did Mandy's show, Mandy?
I did Mandy. She was great as well. Yeah,
she's a good host too.
I did Mandy, and actually John Malin sort of endorsed this book. He did like a little shout out to it, like in one of his streams towards the end of the stream.
Amazing. That's it.
Which was, but it's nice. It's nice to have like a guy that big. Sort of appreciate your book.
He's a great dude. I've been on his show. Who else is a good one? Have you been on Antonio Bryce?
Bryce, yes, I have.
He's a good one. Yeah, he's a good one.
Crowdfunding Comics, that one?
Which one?
The one that Crowdfunding Comics.
Crowdfunding Comics with Billy Tucci.
Yeah, Billy Tucci.
No. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, try to hit.
I'll hit him up.
Yeah, I have his email.
I didn't know he had his own stream.
Yeah, he does. It's pretty good, and he's like I said, he features people with Kickstarters, people with Indiegogos.
Yeah, and he's a major veteran. Like he's a veteran in the industry.
He's been doing kind of what we're doing before crowdfunding was even a thing. He's been doing
really.
Yeah. But however he was financing She with his own money, whatever. Like,
was he really? Was that self-financed?
Yeah, it's self-financed. Either borrow people's money, use his own money. That's a true story, man. He got it in the damn comic book shops.
Wow.
That was a feat to even do. Even for me to try to do that now, I don't even want to think about that. He did that. He's a true pioneer.
That's an ogre, by the way. The one that you saw, the cafeteria lady.
Yeah. She's an ogre. I love it, man. There's too much charm with this book, guys. For guys who are checking this out, definitely, there's a lot to love. It's called Tales from the Classroom. I would definitely, I love
how polished the dialogue is. I mean, it's really just solid and polished and sharp. The dialogue is really, really sharp.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Excellent book here. That's very economical price range here. There's a lot of good stuff that you're getting for your buck. And again, it's for me, it's a winner. Definitely show Rob some love. Tweet, tweet out, retweet. If you see the stream, share it out. It just it helps get the exposure. That's what we want to do. We just want to feature more comics like this. Rob, we're about to break off. Any last words for people? Why do they need to back Tales from the Classroom?
They need to back it because, the more successful this campaign becomes, the more kick-ass the next book is going to be, and so on and so forth. And we're trying to make this a new successful property that lives outside of even the comic book space.
There you go.
And can be a TV show or a movie. And I think we'd all love that.
The thing I love about that is that, I mean, my project also, I have aspirations beyond just comic book. And I think Gilly also would love for GROM to be something more than just a comic book also. So
it would make a great Saturday morning cartoon, you know,
to bring that back.
Yeah.
I think we're in the time where I get people like, oh, comics are dying out. Let me tell you something. Comics ain't going to go nowhere because there's people that are always going to love comic books. But if you think about movies and you think about TV shows, I mean, when you make a movie, you have storyboards, right? Comic books are like blueprints of films, right? And everything now is about streaming wars. It's about exclusivity with content. Amazon Prime got this. Hulu got that, right? Netflix got this, right? HBO got that, right? There's companies aggressively seeking IPs that they can.
That's true. That's true.
Know about,
we're living in a sort of golden age of entertainment because there's such an overabundance of content and an overabundance of like power players wanting to, like, you know, they're starving for content. Netflix is starving. You know, you can almost like throw a script at them and they'll produce it.
And that's the thing, is how to get connected into that part where people can see this, because people won't see it if, you know, like you said, we need the support, because again, you taking your baby steps. You got your self-publishing, then you did enough to where it looks strong enough. Now you got your publisher. You find a publisher, and that's where you get that other step. You do some conventions if you can around your way with your finished book. You know, people are seeing it. And there's like I've been to conventions, not many. I did my first convention as an actual seller last year, and one of the guys
Which one?
It was Tampa Bay. It was very small. It's 4 hours from my house, but I'm like, you know what, I got to do something, and I did it. But I made one contact. I made there. It was someone who, they were connected with Robert Kirkman of The Walking Dead. They used to be friends with him in high school. Like, they were that close, and then apparently, once Kirkman, you know, took off, you know, he took off, and he was chilling with, you know, was it Andrew Lincoln who does Robert Grimes? Like, he was chilling with Hollywood friends, and he kind of forgot. That's how the person explained it to me. But what they told me, is go do shows as much as you can, because there's people that are just looking for stuff. And one thing he told me that's interesting, they might, you know, buy your stuff just to keep it in house for X amount of years, and let's say they buy the rights to Tales from the Classroom for 4 years, right? And you get, like, I don't know, let's just say they do it for $20K. You take 20,000 cash. Okay, you have the rights to it, the movie studio, whatever. They're doing that because if they create something like it while they had possession of it, there's no copyright liability there. So they might have, you know, like Stories of the Classroom, and it's just like, really, that's literally my thing. But you sold them the rights. They had the rights, and so there's a lot to watch. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Hey, listen, you know what this, I told you that this was based on a script, right? Tales from the Classroom. Mm-hmm. Guess what the script was called originally? It was called Monster High.
I believe that.
And Monster High is like a Mattel property now.
Yeah.
And basically, I was shopping the script around, like, so happy because I thought it was such a great idea, right?
It was a brilliant idea.
And then after like 4 months of me doing this in LA, Mattel announced their property called Monster High. And I thought that they'd robbed it, but not really. I since found out that it's just one of those cases where artistic synchronicity, you know?
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens, and like you said, there's always stuff happening, and it was bound to happen, right? I mean, Monster High. It's just like it was bound to happen, and it happened. So there's always stuff out there. Rob, any last words?
No, man. I'm very excited about both of you guys' project. Obviously, more Gillies, because I've seen it and I've backed it already.
Yeah,
and Rob, I can't wait to read it, and it's
gonna be great. Let's see. Last week we did a live read through of the first 10 pages because he had shown.
Really?
Yeah. That video is on our channel, so if you want to check that out, you can go ahead and check that out. But yeah, Gilly sent me the first 10 pages, and I was gushing over it. I'm like, oh my god, this.
I think what I'm gonna do, I'll just probably put an update on the GROM and just because I already have it out, just put it out there. I mean, it's like I don't want to, but it's like, you know what? I know it's gonna leave them wanting more. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it flows, man. It's like it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I love all the design work that you did as well on your campaign is tremendous, and the little logos. It's very marketable as well.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's what you got to do with your stuff. You got to take a picture.
I remember on that day where I read the first 10 pages, I was blowing up Gilly's phone, like, oh my god, this is so amazing! Why aren't you responding? Ah!
I didn't pay him to get that excited. I'm just like, hey, do you want to check it out? Because I was sending it to the publisher. I had signed with a publisher. I'm not revealing who the publisher is yet until things get ready. Get ready. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna send them the first 10 pages. I want to know what's done, and I send it to him like, hey, reader, what do you think? And then he's blowing up my he's DMing me like crazy, because like, man, this is good. I guess if he got excited about it, and I didn't pay him to get excited about it, it just brings up what we all love about nostalgia. It's gonna take you to a good place. Just what Tales from the Classroom does. It's taking you to a good place, and it has its own identity. It's not like, hey, I'm leeching off this and just you're not getting none of that. No, it's like it's doing something nice. It's taking that familiarity, but bringing it in a fresh new story. Yeah. Just like you said, to bring a new audience, because again, we're tired of reboots, right? Aren't we tired of reboots? Yes, reboot this, reboot that, reboot this, reboot. Come on, man. Can we get some fresh blood in here?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the video we got here. Rob Muerto is an amazing guest.
Yeah.
Back his book. I'm gonna back his book. Here's Hero Geek. Ron Christian already backed it. It's what you want in comics. Just gonna say that.
It's an incredible looking book. I'm pretty excited to read it.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully it's the start of something for all of us. It's the start of something special. Like I actually do think that this indie comic book revival is going to be people are going to look back at this little moment in history as something special in terms of.
That's what happened with me. I found out about all this was going on. I wasn't satisfied with what DC and Marvel and all the other big publishers were doing. So I'm like, you know what? I just said I want to be the change that I want to see. So I wanted to be active in the change that I want to see. I didn't want to just complain. I want to do something.
Absolutely.
That's what we got to do. And that's why I compelled us, because of what we're seeing in the main big two is pushing us to want to create our own stuff, and the readers are benefiting. They're getting some great stuff. So support indie comics, people. Check your crowdfunding. There's a lot of great projects out there. Rob Muerto.
Yeah, if you want a good website that encapsulates a lot of the indie comics, go to IndieCron. That's a great website to go to, because it has just campaigns from I think they have campaigns from Kickstarter and Indiegogo right there. So you could go to the website, check out what catches your interest, and see if you can want to back it. So
IndieCron, check out Indiegogo, Tales from the Classroom. We got a great book by Rob Muerto. Hopefully the success could transition to seeing the 4 books done.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for the video. If you check it out, like, subscribe, please. This is the Geektastic Duo, and we'll see you again next week.
Geek out.
Geek out.